what I'm beginning to be on the verge of, and what I'm up here to really ask you about and hear more words about and be encouraged about, is how the relaxation and the allowing, let's say, the allowing and the relaxation energy and a more dynamic energy of the eagerness you talk about and the enthusiasm. Because in the meditation, I can feel I'm releasing. I can feel the releasing, and it's lovely. And at the same time, I'm just beginning to understand that feeling that I used to have as a kid, where I was eager and excited about the next adventure.
Well, what you're saying to us is, and we appreciated your words, that you just think that this meditation process is just the most wonderful thing that has ever been. And we said yes. We say yes, but it won't be the last. And the reason that we're putting it to you in that way is because what happens in that process of relaxing and releasing resistance and getting in that state of allowing is that the energy begins moving, but it's just the first steps of being inside the vortex. And so what's actually happening is, let's say, as our friend before you was talking about some contrast that was giving her some trouble. And she has been giving enough attention to that contrast that she has it pretty active and vivid in her vibration. So if she is able to focus upon something that detracts her from that, then that detail, unwanted thought, unwanted, negative, detailed thought becomes less detailed, less detailed, less detailed. So it's out of the vortex and really specific, out of the vortex and less specific, out of the vortex and rather general. That's the movement through the locks of the vortex canal. And so what happens is, as you get less specific and more general, now you're moving into the vortex. But when you first move into the vortex, you're still rather general. So you feel way better. That's why you're using the word relaxed rather than passionate. But you're in the vortex. In other words, the resistance is gone. Now, when you are consistently moving deliberately by whatever process that floats your boat, as you're moving into this vortex, and now you are getting more and more specific, that's where the passion begins to come. In other words, the more you're in the vortex, the more you are a cooperative component. The more you are a cooperative component, the more you begin to see. The more you begin to see, the more definitive you become. The more definitive you become, the more specific you become, the more exact you become, the more exhilarated you become. In other words, there is so much more that is coming. Once you establish yourself, once you've shown yourself that any time you choose, that you can sit and put on the headphones or turn on the stereo and listen to the recording and breathe yourself into that relaxed position, once you've shown yourself that you can do that without distraction on a really regular basis, now you're ready. Now you're ready for some deliberate focus wheels from inside the vortex.
Okay.
Or anything that causes you to focus. We encourage affirming from inside the vortex. You take a deck of, these are affirmation cards, and this particular one is about money, attracting money. If you're in the vortex, I can see my world through the eyes of Source. That's really an uplifting. I can deliberately choose to feel better now. I already really feel good. You mean I can feel better? I can feel better than relaxed. I can feel better than relaxed. What feels better than relaxed? Happier, excited, enthusiastic, passionate about something. Now, you might not always say that, but we think, wouldn't you rather be passionate than relaxed? Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Now, wouldn't you rather be relaxed than overwhelmed?
Yes.
Of course. You'd much rather be relaxed than overwhelmed, but wouldn't you rather be passionately in love than just lightly amused? In other words, when you get into the vortex, that's when and so the more you affirm, the better my story gets, the better my life gets. Don't you want to start telling a more emphatic story, a more detailed story? And when you do that from inside the vortex, that's when you get it goosed up. And so you're helping us say something that is really important, because so far, mostly what we've been doing is leading you out of the abyss out of the vortex into the vortex. And now what you're saying is, now what? I'm relaxed, but is that all there is? I want something more than relaxed. I'd like to be passionate. And we say, Two things are necessary. Stick around in the vortex on a really regular basis. In other words, confirm that you're there and milk it. Now, what does milking it mean? Milking it means get more specific, spend more time in it. When you're in the vortex, call someone else that you know who's in the vortex too. Do some masterminding, do some co-creating. Nothing is more exhilarating than to get it together with others and affirm your well-being from inside the vortex. The guides on the riverboat with Jerry and Esther and their friends, they all had such a good time. Strangers meeting one another. And as they began to play, these people were up for it. Up for it. Eric, Esther named him Eagle Eye because he could see things. He could see things in the bushes because he was accustomed to seeing them. And then they would put a little laser spotlight on it so that those not so accustomed to see it could see it. Isn't that a nice river guide? Who is already in the vortex, who knows exactly what to look for, who finds it and shines a spotlight on it and makes it easier for you to see. And then the exhilaration you find as you find it, you see. There are so many things in the vortex that are exhilarating beyond description that are waiting.
Well, that's the thing. You see, the experience, so fantastic, these meditations, especially on the cruise as well. And sometimes I have this thought that that's all I'm going to do is meditate all day. And then I thought, I'm not living life.
But now wait about that, because so far, as you feel that way, and that's fine, and we love that you're there, is what you've accomplished so far. You're just in the first lock of the canal.
Ah, okay.
Let's call the whole canal the vortex. And you're in the first lock of the canal, which means you're feeling good.
Yeah.
You're feeling ease, and you're feeling peace, and you're feeling relaxed. The angst is gone. The edge is off your life. You're a cooperative component.
Yes.
But it's going to become more and more and more. That's why we really don't encourage that you spend more than 30 minutes a day. Now, we know you like it because you're using it to escape. You're escaping from the things that are bothering you, you see. But you're really not wanting those words that you offered just now. You want to live life. We don't encourage you to meditate and quiet your mind. You've trained your mind to be an active mind.
Yes.
You want your mind to be active as it was born to be.
Yes.
You just want it to be active in the vortex and really quiet when you're not. In other words, don't be active. In other words, it's easy to beat the drum. It's easier for most people to beat the drum when they're not in the vortex. You can round up a lot more people to join your protest marches. In other words, everyone's got that sort of drum to beat and story to tell. But once you move yourself into that place of well-being, and then you begin becoming more specific once you are in the vortex.
Okay. So just keep going, lock by lock.
Think. Focus and enjoy.
Because that's what I want. I want the passion to take me, and the enthusiasm, the excitement. When you talk about it, it's so inspiring, and it's what I want.
Don't you really like to get together with others and enjoy the wit and humor and timing and intelligence of all of them? Isn't it really something to come together as a group and just begin to dance together, and no one cares who's saying what or who gets the funny line out, because everyone's laughing and you're all part of it? In other words, co-creating at its best. But a general diffusing is sort of, we were talking on the last cruise and then subsequently in some seminars about the idea of deconstructing the negative thought.
Yes.
So the process in really simple terms is deconstruct the negative thought by going general. And once you're sure you're stable, then reconstruct the positive thought. In other words, that's a really good way to look. And if you in your effort, if it feels like effort in the reconstruction of positive thought, then you're stretching too far, and often the vortex will throw you out.
Well, that's what I think I've been doing. I think I've been sort of I've been sort of forcing and expecting this full, specific idea of what I'm going to be passionate about next.
It will come. You just relax and say things. So here you are, you're relaxed, and the thought comes to you, I'm relaxed but not passionate. I want to be passionate and I'm not passionate. So now you're focused more specifically than you were on something lackful, and now you're not relaxed either. In other words, you've lost ground, so to speak.
You're in my head when I'm meditating.
Where if you say if you say something like, I'm really in a good place. I'm in the right place at the right time. Or even if you listen to the words, we put really good words on that recording for you. In other words, those words are saying to you, all is well. There's nothing for you to do. There's nothing that you're supposed to do, because that meditation is for the deactivation of anything that would keep you out of the vortex. Now, so you're in a good place right here and now. You're relaxed. Mm-hmm. You're aligned. Mm-hmm. You're in the vortex. You light it up for us in a very powerful way. Mm-hmm. So let's move a little bit here. So be as specific as you can be about what you want from where you are. No right or wrong. Just get a little more specific about what you're reaching for on some subject, on a general subject, on the subject of vortex, on the subject of something you want. Doesn't matter.